The 20th of June. 6:07 a.m. Fog over the lake. The water was still. A crane stood motionless on a rock. Somewhere, a fish splashed gently beneath the surface. Then, put the rod down, hands where I can see them. The voice shattered the morning. Birds exploded from the trees. A boy on a bike stopped mid-ride. Down by the shore, an old man flinched. He stood ankle-deep, clutching a bamboo fishing rod. Weathered. Thin. 79 years old. Face like leather left in the sun. His jacket military green faded hung loose on his bones. 2 officers were already in the water. Officer Trent led 28. Tactical vest, mirrored sunglasses. Buzz cut. He moved like he was on a SWAT team. His voice boomed again. Fishing without a permit is a violation of State Code 62A. That's a $500 fine minimum. The old man didn't run. Didn't speak. He just looked down at the rod in his hands then. Slowly reeled in the line. No bait. Just a bent hook. Don't play innocent, Grandpa. Trent snapped, stepping closer. That lake's a protected ecosystem. No exceptions for nostalgia trips. A crowd was forming. Locals with phones. Kids pointing. A teenage girl whispered, "Who's he think he is? Rambo?" The second officer, Parker, younger, clearly nervous, lowered his voice. "Sir, maybe he just didn't know. It's not posted clearly on this side." Trent shut him down with a glare. "No mercy," he growled. "Write him up." Parker hesitated, then pulled out the ticket book, scribbled. The old man took the citation without a word, folded it carefully, slid it into his coat pocket. He looked out at the lake one last time, then turned and walked away, limping slightly. The bamboo rod dragged behind him, tip carving a trail in the sand. No one knew his name. Not yet. Back at the edge of town, the old man's house sat where the road turned to gravel, a sagging porch, paint peeling in long curls. Weeds pushed through the steps like they were reclaiming the place. He unlocked the door with a soft clack. Inside, the air was still, quiet. No television. No lights. Just dust floating through shafts of sun. A rusted canteen sat on a shelf, next to a framed photo young soldiers grinning in black and white. One of them had the same eyes. Younger. Sharper. A cloth bundle leaned beside the door. He untied it. The bamboo rod. He wiped it gently with a clean rag, then placed it on a wooden stand like it was something sacred. On the kitchen counter, a single bowl, a spoon, canned soup, half heated on a plug-in stove. He didn't eat much anymore. Out back, he knelt in the dirt beside a row of tomato plants. The ground was cracked, but he worked it with care. His right leg dragged slightly. Shrapnel, left in him, since '68. A screen door creaked. "Mr. Joe?" Maria, early 40s. Dark hair tied back. She lived 2 houses over. Came by sometimes with stew or pie, unasked. A single mom, raising her boy on night shifts and grit. Behind her, the '07. Always smiling, ran up barefoot. "Mom says you got in trouble," he said, breathless. "Did they take your rod?" Joe shook his head. "Still got it." Maria handed over a Tupperware of chili. "Saw the video. That punk officer was yelling like you were robbing the place." Joe just smiled faintly. "Rules are rules." Maria frowned. "You go out there every year on this day. Quiet. Just once a year. It's not a crime to remember something." Joe didn't answer. Just nodded. Theo pointed to the fishing rod inside. "Is that the one you told me about? The one that caught the ghost fish?" Joe's smile twitched. He had told Theo stories, light ones, funny ones, about talking turtles and river monsters, but he'd never told him the real one. About the night when the jungle burned and rations ran out, when the men were bleeding and shaking, when he caught fish with nothing but thread and instinct. He looked out past the backyard fence, toward the trees beyond. That rod had never missed the 20th of June. Not once in 50 years. By noon, the video hit Facebook. A shaky clip Trent yelling. Joe silent, the bamboo rod dragging behind him. Caption: Old guy caught fishing illegally refuses to speak. The comments came fast. Rules apply to everyone. Grandpa's not above the law. Probably faking that limp. Why's he even out there alone? Trent doubled down in the replies. I stand by the citation. The lake is a protected zone. This isn't the Wild West. The clip made it to the local news by 6 p.m. Trent gave a statement, crisp in uniform, saying, We're protecting the environment. This isn't personal. Maria saw it and nearly dropped her dish towel. She logged on. Wrote a long comment under the video. His name is Joseph Min. He's a veteran. He fishes one day a year, always the 20th of June. He lives quietly. Helps my son with his homework. He's the kindest man I know. But the algorithm didn't care. It buried her post under 1,000 reaction gifs and angry face emojis. Parker, the younger officer, came by Joe's house that evening. Hat in hand. He didn't come to apologize, just to talk. But Joe didn't answer the door. He was in the back room, staring at a weathered shoebox. Inside, an old dog tag, a letter written in blocky pencil, and a photo torn at the edge of 12 young men beside a river. Most of them were gone now. He closed the box. Went outside. The tomatoes needed watering. 2 days passed. Then came the sound no one expected. A low rumble far off at first. Then louder. Windows rattled. People stepped onto porches, shielding their eyes. Whoop, 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 whoop. A military helicopter came roaring over the treetops. Big. Loud. Official. It circled once, then lowered onto the baseball field behind the school. Kicking up dust. Shaking leaves. Phones were out. Live streams. Screaming kids. The door opened. Out stepped a tall man in full army dress uniform. Chest full of medals. White gloves. Hat tight. 4 silver stars on his shoulders. General Matthew Claiborne. Someone gasped. Someone else dropped their phone. The general didn't wave. Didn't smile. He walked straight across the field. Past the swings. Past the stairs. Toward one house. Toward one porch. Toward Joseph Min. The porch creaked under Joe's weight as he opened the door. He didn't look surprised. The general stopped 2 steps away. For a second, just silence. Then, they hugged. Tight. No ceremony. Just 2 old soldiers. You made it, Joe said, voice low. Always do, the general replied. The crowd closed in. Not too close, just enough for whispers to rise. Cameras up. Questions ready. Trent arrived last, pushing through the people. Confused. Eyes darting. He froze when he saw the stars. General Claiborne turned to the crowd. His voice was calm. Clear. Trained to command. This man is Staff Sergeant Joseph Min. He led my recon unit in 1968. 12 men. Deep in Quang Tri. We were cut off. Starving. Hunted. He looked down at the rod leaning by the doorway. With that bamboo rod, he caught fish while artillery echoed in the hills. Risked his life crawling to a stream at night. Shared every bite. Gasps from the crowd. He built decoys from mud and bamboo leaves. Snuck us past patrols. We walked 60 miles home because of him. Every man alive owed it to this man. He looked back at Joe. His voice cracked for the first time. And every year, on the 20th of June, the day we made it out, I come here. He turned to Trent. You fined my sergeant for holding the rod that saved my command. Trent stammered, sweat on his neck. I didn't know. The general didn't raise his voice. Just nodded toward the crowd. Now you do. Maria squeezed Theo's hand, eyes wide. Parker took off his hat, face flushed. Then someone in the crowd whispered, Wait. Today's the 20th of June, and everything clicked. Phones dropped, hands lowered. A hush fell, heavy and full of weight. Even the birds seemed to quiet. The ticket vanished. Not torn, not ignored. Rescinded. Signed off by the mayor herself. Quietly. Formally. Archived. Trent showed up 2 days later. No camera, no badge, civilian clothes. He stood on the porch, eyes low. I came to say, "I'm sorry. I messed up." Joe looked at him for a long second, then nodded. "I forgive you." No speeches, no post online. Just two men, one learning, one remembering. Something shifted in town after that. Kids rode their bikes past Joe's place slower. One by one, they stopped to ask about fishing knots, or how to make a line from thread. Joe always answered patient. Quiet. Someone repainted his porch. Left the paint can with no name. A new bench appeared near the lake solid wood, bronze plaque. In honor of Joseph Min Fisher, soldier, savior. Each year after, on the 20th of June, the town paused. And each year, around noon, the familiar rumble would come. Whoop, whoop, whoop. The helicopter touched down behind the school. Out stepped General Claiborne. Older now. Slower. Still proud. He brought 2 sandwiches, a folding chair, thermos of coffee. They didn't talk much. Just sat by the water, rod between them, watching ripples move through the lake. No permit. No interruptions. Just memory and peace.